if you're not excited about this, something's wrong with you. You know, I mean, another basketball season, and obviously year two comes with it. In my opinion, a lot higher expectations, and that's the way it should be. Is that we should have high expectations, and we should embrace those. So it's exciting, very exciting.
How much, I guess, unknown is left at this point? With you've got a whole new team. How much are you still looking to find out about this group? Do you think?
Oh yeah, it's a day-to-day deal. I mean, we're nowhere near a finished product, and you know, I learned something new about the team. I learned something new about the players individually each and every day. So yeah, I would assume that this happens all year long. This is just the new norm. We should get used to it.
Do you have to modify at all how you teach motion when the rosters are in flux as much, or you just do it the same way?
Dave asked questions this year.
Well, I knew how much you like the sweaters, so I wanted to make sure that I wore one so that you would. Yeah, I wanted you to see my sweater.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the basics of motion is still the same, right? And so we still teach it the same. With this group and with each team, you're going to have different learning styles, so you have to kind of adjust to that. I was really disappointed in our motion at SMU, and we've tried to spend a little bit of time on it here, you know, over the last week. You know, the problem is that my guess is Oral Roberts will play some zone, and you know, that obviously will throw a wrench in that. But you know, motion is great against teams that play like we do, and when you play against teams that switch, which SMU switch some off the ball, A&M switches some, you know, now you have to obviously modify. It's a little different. You're not setting your screens, you're slipping your screens, and so that slows down the learning curve a little bit.
We talked with Kirk and Rob. How did Kirk sort of get on your radar? He sort of explained it from his perspective to us, and then what led to the decision to retain him? I imagine you maybe didn't have to going into this year. What led to you wanting him to come back this year?
Yeah, I mean, number one, he's a fantastic human being. He's a good basketball player and a great teammate. So I wanted him on the team. It's just, you know, NCAA rules are a little bit different now. You have 15 roster spots, so you have 15 scholarships. Excuse me. Now, Oklahoma State's a little different because they don't provide us with 15 scholarships. They give us 13 scholarships, and then if I want to use my revenue sharing money to pay somebody to basically go to school, then I do so. And so, you know, as we got down to the wire, and you know, you it's bad to say, but you start looking at, okay, I want another guard, and you know, do I go try and sign a high school kid that I know nothing about? Or do I get a young man from overseas that I know nothing about? Or, you know, do I take a transfer that I know nothing about? Or I've got this young man here on the team that's a fantastic human, a fantastic teammate. He wants to come back. Just made a lot of sense.
We also talked with Coach Valentine, addition this year. Just what led you to bringing him on the staff?
I've known Dana for a while. Obviously, we've had some players even here from Putnam Science, but that's not really, Dana wasn't necessarily connected to them. But I've known him for a while and have always admired his work ethic. I think he's a good basketball coach. He's a good human being. Works really, really hard at the recruiting, which is what I wanted out of that position. So, you know, it was a easy decision for me.
He said he interviewed at Western for you as well. What made now the right time?
Well, Western Kentucky was the timing was a little bit different. And, you know, he had a good job, right? And so you know, it made more sense. I mean, St. Bonaventure's a very good job. Mark Schmidt's a good coach, but you know, the opportunity to coach in the Big 12 versus Conference USA versus the A10, it's a little bit different deal. So it just made more sense here.
What are you sort of expecting from Oral Roberts?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I reached out to Corey and said, "Hey, man, I remember how it's like, you know, in your first night, your first home game. You want to talk? Holler at me." And he said, "Oh, Coach, we're good. We're going to keep it to a minimal scout prep." and we'll be there to play and look forward to playing. So there's not much available. He's a first-time coach, and they had an exhibition with, I think it was called Central Baptist, which we've watched. But beyond that, I mean, they made 19 threes in that game. They rebounded the ball extremely well. They overmatched their competition. They did have a close scrimmage with Abilene Christian, but there was no video available, although the coach at Abilene Christian and I have been friends for 25 years, so we talked a little bit. But you're going into it worrying more about you than you are worrying about Oral Roberts and what they do. We've got to concentrate on us.
You've talked in the preseason about, defensively this team has room to grow. Where is that going into the year?
We're still a work in progress, brother. We've got a long ways to go on the defensive end. We'll be good for periods of time, and then you may look and say, wow, they just shot a free throw and gave up a transition basket on the other end, not because we don't get back, but we kind of halfways get back and we don't communicate and get matched up, and just it'll be mind-blowing to you at some time. So we've got to become much more of a cohesive unit on that end, and we've got to be more diligent just in terms of concentrating on winning the game through our defense and not our offense.
Using assistants as essentially like offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators, has that been happening a long time, or at what point has that started to become a trend in college basketball? Yeah,
I think Brad Stevens might have been the first one. When he was at Butler. I don't really know, to be honest with you, anybody that had done it prior to that. Brad's the first one that I knew that did it, and then we obviously did it at Purdue. So Brad's a pretty smart individual, so it begs to listen or to at least investigate what he's doing and see if it works for you and your program.